Hey guys, it's Oscar. How you doing? It's been a while. Just kind of want to do a bit of a, it's not a shave video, kind of a shave of the day recap, but it's going to be a couple shaves, the last couple shaves I want to talk about. Kind of more of a catch-up video. Haven't talked to you guys in a while, and there it looks kind of weird. Anyway, haven't talked to you guys in a while, and just kind of wanted to catch up, take a second to catch up, and just let you know kind of what's been going on a little bit. So, if we're friends on my regular Facebook, you know that I took off for a little over a week. Just came back a few days ago from Scotland. Went over for about 8 days with Maria, and Michael stayed home, but with my sister and brother-in-law. And it was just kind of an idea. About a year ago, my sister put in our heads. She's been just kind of studying up on history of Scotland and stuff like that, and watching a TV series on Stars called The Outlander, and reading the books. And from what she tells me, that series is pretty accurate as far as geographical and historical, the historical side of Scotland and everything they've gone through versus England and whatnot. And so it piqued her interest, and she wanted to go. Now, when she mentioned Scotland to me, as a golfer or as a golf enthusiast, that's the first thing I thought was St. Andrews and all the great courses out there. So we talked it over, and we decided that we were going to go ahead and try and join them. So we went, and although the whole week was just amazing, I took hundreds and hundreds of pictures and topped it off on the last full day we were there with a round of golf at St. Andrews. If you're familiar with it, St. Andrews is basically the home of golf. But we didn't get to play the old course, which is the main course that the pros play. We got to play one of the outlying courses. There's actually 7 courses there, and they all kind of go along, St. Andrews Bay. And it's, if you're familiar with it, then you know. I was in like the mecca of golf, and I didn't get to play the old course, like I said, but we did get to play tourist and walk around, and that was, pretty much the tip top of the trip. But anyway, so I knew being gone for 8 days that there was going to have to be at least one shave done during those days. So I thought we were going to be hopping around. The plan was we actually flew into Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland. It's kind of down in the southeast part of Scotland. Then we had a car, and then we went up into the west into a town called Oban. And then from Oban, we went into the Highlands to Inverness for a couple of days, and then down to St. Andrews, and then back to Edinburgh. So kind of circumvented the island, the main part of the island. But I knew that we were doing like 2 days in Edinburgh, but that was going to be arrival, and then one full day. Then we're going to hit the road, and between each point, there was never going to be more of a drive of a couple hours. So, but taking into account the drive and then getting into town, we're only going to be in Oban for 1 night, Inverness for 2 nights, back to St. Andrews for 2. So I knew that I had the idea of maybe doing a video from there, from somewhere, but I figured with all the movement, I probably wasn't going to get a chance to do it until I got up to Inverness, because we were going to be there for like 2 full days. So when I got in, and obviously you travel, we only did carry-on, so I couldn't take blades. I took all my other gear, but except for blades, obviously. So I knew I'd be able to find blades somewhere. So on the first day in Edinburgh, I said, while we're walking around, I'm sure we'll cross some store that'll have them, even if it's like a drugstore or whatever. And sure enough, we found a place called Boots, which is equivalent to like a Walgreens or a CVS here. And I said, of course, they got to have blades in there. So I went in there and I asked, and they had 2 kinds of blades. They had Wilkinson swords, and they had these. What brand, you say? Exactly. What brand? Even the packaging, the container, the container will sometimes have the little cardboard insert that has the brand. No. All they had was a black piece of cardboard with a picture of a silver razor blade. Even on the packaging, there was no name. I tried to read the fine print at least to see where they were made. Nothing. So I've had Wilkinson swords. I didn't have good experience with them. So I said, well, I'll go with the no names. Maybe it's one of those no-name blades that's made by, Gillette or Voshkot or somebody out in some other remote part of the world. And so I tried it. And I said, well, if it tears me up, maybe it's another good little anecdote to add in. But so I had all my gear, and I said, well, for the time that it would take to make a video and all that kind of stuff. We were in bed late. We were up early trying to get our days going, and there really wasn't a whole lot of time even to shave. So into the 4th, 5th day of the trip, I was looking kind of scruffy, And we got into Inverness, and I said, this is a big town, very historic. And then I already knew from the other places we'd been, there's barbershops in Scotland like there's Starbucks around here. I mean, they're everywhere. So I know somebody's going to be able to do a hot towel shave. So I said I'll just kind of maybe treat myself a little bit, and they weren't very expensive, if you could find a place to do them. So right across from the hotel, there's a place, big sign that says, barbershop, and then on the bottom of the sign it had a picture of a straight razor. So I go in there, hey, do you guys do straight razor shaves? She said, well, only on the back of the neck. And I was like, you have a picture of it? But anyway, so I said, screw it. And went back to the hotel. I asked the concierge if there's anywhere close by that'll do those hot towel shaves. And she said, oh, Turkish Shave. And I said, okay, a Turkish Shave. And she said, yeah, in the shopping center. So there was a shopping mall across the street. And on the second floor. And I wanted to go into one of these old places that, I mean, I know it wasn't London. I wasn't going to go into like a Taylor's or a True Fit and Hill or a Trumpers. So, but someplace, right? And, all she could offer me was shopping mall. So I said, well, I need to shave, and, I'd like to have that Turkish Shave experience. So I went in there, and sure enough, they were able to do it. And, he hooked it up, hot towel, got a haircut too, hot towel, the pre-shave oil, kind of the way they do. And I noticed lemon. It was very lemony, but it was fresh and it felt good. And he's doing the brush and everything, and he's, he did the oil, did the brush, towels, and I noticed, I looked, they use shave at, he was using a shave at as well. So he's doing it, hooked it up, felt pretty good. And then I asked him what kind of product he was using, and he pointed up, he didn't speak very good English, he was Egyptian. He points up into the corner, and there's a couple sticks of Arco. They were using Arco. So, but he was in a bowl, so I don't know if maybe they shaved it in the bowl and lathered it up or whatever. But anyway, got a pretty good shave, and after it was all said and done, it was cool. But so yeah, that was my Turkish Shave. Ended up being with Arco, and some lemony type aftershave cologne stuff that he used, and it was cool. The lemon was a little heavy for me, and I know that I've never used Arco before this. And I know people have always talked about Lemon Pledge and all this stuff, and in retrospect, it reminded me of that. So that was that. But my plan was I was going to try and do a video out there, and being in Scotland, I thought it'd be kind of funny to, this was the stuff I took with me, just kind of remind me of home, America stuff, and this was the stuff I was going to use. But that actually ended up being the only shave I did the whole week. So I came back the next day. I had to go to work the next day after I came back. And I did my shave, and I did in fact use this stuff. The picture's attached. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Picture should be in the beginning by the time this is all said and done. So I used this, and I used American Barber. Try to, do that whole thing about I was gone, now I'm back home, USA, and, America. This is the stuff I used along with the American Barber from Razor Rock. So that was that shave. And then I also wanted to talk about, while I was gone, I, along with many of you, got the OneBlade Core. Now I know there was when Mantic first put it out, there was a lot of hubbub about, oh, it's just a cheap imitation of the $400 version of the stainless steel and all this stuff. It's just going to be plastic and blah blah blah, and it's going to be cheap and all this stuff. Well, what I started reading was a lot of the comments I was seeing was like, some of these guys are just complaining just to have something to bitch about, because it was the same people saying the same shit, talking about, oh, it's just going to be a cheap reproduction. Why would you want to shave with plastic and all? Well, my idea was why OneBlade wouldn't put out something cheap just for the sake of putting something out. They've already established themselves as a very reputable, as a good company making good product. Why would they put out something cheap just for the sake of putting it out? So I kept a very open mind. I said it's going to be a plastic type of material. I doubt that it's going to be just fall apart in your hand type of thing. But what they're doing, in my opinion, was they're just appealing to a bigger demographic. They're making it more accessible. They're not making it cheap. They're making it cheaper price-wise, less expensive. But the quality, I haven't used the stainless steel one, but why would they put something out that they were even afraid a little bit would fall apart in somebody's hand? So I jumped on it. And if somebody with the reputation of a Mantic 59 mark is gonna endorse it, then I mean, as soon as it was available for purchase or for order, I did it, because I'm not gonna pay $400 for the main thing, and at $50, you know, I'm willing to take a shot for $50. If not, I'll just get rid of it and just try and make my money back. So what? No harm, no foul, right? So it came, and I like it. It's got a little bit more heft than I expected. Probably because this metal insert that's inside of the plastic handle. I know there's been a lot of reviews, a lot of opinions already, but this is just my 2 cents. What I did read was some people were having issue, inserting the blade with the stoppers, with these stoppers in front. I think maybe they tried to force it in too much, and so the plastic stoppers were getting broken off by the edge of the blade. And you just gotta ease it in, just ease it in until it meets its resistance. And I didn't really have problem inserting the blade, and given what I had read already, and it was cool. I mean, it came with feathers, obviously, so I obviously, you got to be careful because it's a feather. But I used it yesterday, and it was, as long as you're careful, I mean, it was a great shave. It felt mild, but it was very, very efficient. You still had to, according to the little booklet that comes with it, you still got to mind your angle and the pressure. But what confused me was, I mean, that's kind of the golden rule for any razor for the first time. But if you mind your angle, and if you maintain your angle and you apply a little bit of pressure, and help me, maybe you guys can help me out here, then what's the point of the pivot? Because in order for the pivot to even happen, you kind of got to apply pressure. You kind of have to apply. So if you're supposed to maintain your angle and as little pressure as possible, when does this even come into play? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can say that about the cheapest disposable. Maintain your angle and watch your pressure. So I was a little confused about that. But anyway, I used it, and I had zero irritation, no weepers, no nothing. It was a great shave. I used Mountain Man from Sterling, which I know I wanted to use a soap that I'm very comfortable with the slickness and everything. So I had no issues. It was a great shave, very efficient, and even what I found was, even touch-ups and buffing, I was still able to use this. I didn't have to go to a more mild razor, or like sometimes with a 6S, I'll start with a 4 or 5 and then go down to a 2 for buffing. But I was able to buff with this still, and I still got no weepers, no irritation. The post shave was fantastic. The weight was good. I kind of had to wipe it off every now and then because it started to get slippery because of the soap and product getting my hand wet. But I really liked it. After one shave, it was worth it. Again, you're always going to want to maintain your angle and mind your pressure, so I'm not quite sure how this is going to, what the advantage of that is. I mean, if it was fixed and you still maintain your angle and pressure, you'd probably still get the same shave, I think. But I liked it. So, I mean, I'm going to keep using it and see how many shaves I can get from each blade. Because as far as I know, the blades are a little pricier. I've seen suggestions of, you can take the blade out and strop it. Maybe it'll help it last longer. It is a single edge. So we'll just see. We'll see. But first impressions were good. I know, like I said, a lot of people have already made their little videos of the razor. And I liked it. So no regrets. So my trip, it was awesome. You guys ever get a chance to go out to Scotland, the history, castles everywhere, pubs everywhere, and the food was good. People are awesome. The Scottish people are super friendly, and just had a great trip. So if you can never make it out there, try it. Check it out. And that was it. Kind of want to catch up. Hope everybody's well. Those were my last couple shaves, and just try to be in touch. Also, SoCal. I may be letting the cat out of the bag, but I've seen it already kind of in comments. But July 29th in Riverside at Wick's Brewery. I'm going to try and get more details. Rob Phillips is working on that. And, just keep an eye out. Southern California, Riverside, July 29th. And I think they're doing Chicago this weekend, so jealous. Hope everybody has a great time. I'll make it out there one of these days. And again, everybody be well. Good to be back, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.